the C63 V8 was always one that I wanted to do, and like I said, I did buy one, but it was smashed up. We got a bit done over on it. That was like during like Christmas time.
Okay. When you said, was it a car that you brought to the channel, or you didn't?
Yeah, I put it on the channel, but I only did like 3 videos on it.
Okay, awesome.
And so C63 coupe, the 6.2 litre V8, and I seen it on. Well, at first I remember I tried to bid on it on Copart. It's like a car auction site where it's all smashed up, and I lost the bids on it. It went for like more than I expected it to. I thought it went for like £13,000 or something, and it was literally had a front end smash. Then next thing I see it straight on eBay afterwards but like a breaker's yard sort of eBay. They just buy cars off,
and put them straight on.
and put them straight on, try and make a bit of cash. It was on there for a while, and at the time I had another car. I didn't really think of like buying it, and then it came to the time sort of towards the end of a project. What can we do next? I was like, right, C63, always wanted one. Seen it, stupid. Like I've got lucky with cars, to be honest. And I kind of rang him up, didn't even go look at it, and I said like, is it all right? Like, does it run? He goes, yeah, it runs. It drives. It's just like this wrong with it. I said, is there any frame damage? Not that I know of. Not had a look at it.
Yeah.
Got it there, and as soon as he drops it off, I paid him, and then I started to look at it. It was the biggest rookie error I've ever had, and then literally like one of the chassis legs was pushed back into the like bulkhead of the car.
Okay, so they would call that like a Cat C.
It was only categorised as a Category S, so like structural damage.
Yeah.
But a lot of the cars they do a Category S structural damage, and the insurance will write stuff off, especially like an older car like that, for nothing now. They'll Category S it and say like it's got structural damage, and it's just be like a bit of suspension work here and there. But like really, it should have been a Cat B, like a breaker. Like you can't put them back on the road. It should have been that, but the insurance wouldn't have looked that far into it to see the damage. They would have just like took a wing off, seen it, structural damage. That would do. Like but what had happened with that car is it had I saw it had all the airbags gone in the inside, and I thought, okay, front end smash. But then the crash bar on it was like new, almost like new. I was like, the crash bar.
Someone had started to repair it. Kind of thing.
So what they've done, they put a new bonnet on it, new wings on it. They put new arch lining in there, and sort of covered over the damage to make it look like it wasn't as bad as a crash as it was.
People were going that far. They actually put new parts to hide.
Yeah. So anyway, it turns out what happened was it was actually on Copart before I seen it with a much worse accident. I found the pictures of it, and it was absolutely smashed in full front end, absolutely crumpled. And I think it was Copart that did it, because if they didn't sell a car or something, I heard they're known for doctoring up them and then re-auctioning them. So it was for sale at one Copart, didn't sell. A couple of months later, it's on again, but this time it's got a bonnet on it, wings on it, new crash bar. It's got different wheels on it, like not damaged wheels, and it doesn't look as bad as a crash. It just looks like, you need front bumper, headlights, that's it, you're on. And so obviously someone bought that. This chap who obviously bought it just resells them, and he must have done the same thing. He must have seen it and been like, well, it's not that bad, and then got there and think, oh my God,
shit.
that's it. Yeah. Just whack it back on eBay. If I would have gone there and looked, I would have got away with it. But
you had it straight trailer to your house?
Yeah, I didn't even look at it. I did the same with the Bentley.
Shit.
I bought it off him. It was like 14 grand I paid for it. Yeah, and I got it back to my unit, and had a look at it and realised, oh my God, this is wrong. But I was like, you know what, it's something different. I'm going to rebuild this. I know frame damage is fixable. You can like straighten things out and everything. Yeah. I had like a body shop come to me and say, right, we'll work with you and help you do it. So I was like, yeah, let's do it. Make a series. The first video went mad. It was on like YouTube trending page and had like 8,000 subscribers off like this one video. And I was like, people want to see this done. I'm just going to do it. I don't care what it costs. It's going to build the channel up. And then the body shop had it for like a week or so. They rang me up and said, there's only 2 jobs I've ever turned down the whole entire length of like is being open, and this is going to be one of them. And,
what the fuck? Because of when they say, was it that bad?
Yeah, the chassis leg was pushed so far it like back in, and they said like you could bodge it back together. So like what they were saying was like people would do it, and I think someone has done it because I've sold the car, and
there's someone driving around with uncategorized fucking...
I think someone's done it because what happened is the chassis leg pushed all the way back. It's about a foot back. So, and then they could see it's actually it was bad, like really far back. And so obviously the subframe's bolt into that chassis leg. So the subframe's like that then. So the wheel looks dead far back in the arch on one side. But it said what they could do is you cut the chassis leg off, you extend it out sort of thing. So you get it level in the same place. Everything bolts up. So it looks straight as anything, but you know the crease in the chassis leg, that's still pushed in the bulkhead further back, but you wouldn't see that because you've chopped the chassis leg in there. But if you have an accident in a car that, the
car's just going to explode.
Yeah, you've had it. And he says like this car is capable of over 200 mile an hour sort of thing. So if we repair that and then you go out on the road and you kill yourself in it, it's like our name, and like we can't be doing stuff like that, especially on YouTube. It's
that's
like
wild.
It goes a little Volkswagen like Polo, Lupo, something like that. You could do it, get away with it, but that. You're not doing it. You don't want to do it. It's never going to be straight.
That's mad.
And I was thinking, like, oh no, what am I going to do? Like, had another company message me, like a car auction company, saying we've got a like it was a really good deal actually. They watched the video and they said, oh, we've got a Category B C63. Well, they didn't say Category B to start with. They said we've got a C63 up for auction. We want to give you all the parts. Like it's completely like no damage to it, but it's been flood damage, so it's
cool.
like the engine's gone, so they're going to take the engine, they'll give me the car for the parts so I can swap it over. So I've already had all the parts ready. I was like, oh, this is going to be mint. And they said as long as you do the promotion for us, we'll give you all the parts for your car there. So I was like, mint. When they told me that it wasn't fixable, this body shop, I rang this auction company who was going to give me this C63 and said, look, my one's not repairable, can I swap the parts over on that one? And they said you can't put our one back on the road because it's Category B.
Oh, and that's every...
and I was like, why is that? Because there's no damage on it. It says, oh, it's flood damage and that. And then they said there's only a couple of reasons why they'd Category B a car if it's not that smashed up. And do you know if there's been like a fatality in the car? If someone's died in the car, they'll Category B the car.
So someone's drowned in it?
Yeah, so I was like, so that's what they didn't actually say that to us, but they said that would be one of the reasons. So someone would have probably drowned in the car, and then they just Category B the car.
If someone dies in a car, you can't...
Yeah, I don't know. I've never heard of it before, but that's what they told me.
I guess it kind of makes sense.
Yeah, so they'll just Category B it straight away if there's a fatality in it, because there was no damage on that car whatsoever. It was absolutely mint condition, same colour.
So do you know what? Some people commit suicide in cars, isn't it? Carbon monoxide, isn't it?
Oh yeah,
so I'd imagine.
Well, this one was flood damage, so I'm thinking maybe did they drive it into a canal?
That's wild.
I don't know. Like it was so that was the thing. I was like, oh my god, yeah. That, to be fair, you wouldn't want to be driving around something.
Fucking ghosts come out halfway.
yeah, that's it. And that's the thing. You don't. I was like, yeah. So mad. In the end up decided, right, I've just got to cut my losses, and I think I sold it for like $6,000.
No.
Yeah, I took a massive loss on it.
And bro, that's probably for sale right now in Birmingham. In fact, someone's probably driving down the road sideways, in a fucking grey C63. Now you know why your car goes sideways and not straight.
Where did it go?
Guarantee that's in Birmingham right now.
No, it was another area that you...
What's your best price on it?
It was like Leeds... Where's close to Leeds, but like where everyone like says is proper
Bradford.
Sketchy. Bradford, that's where it went.
It went Bradford.
That's where it went.
There's someone watching this who owns that car.
It's in Bradford.
It's in Bradford.
But I don't know what happened to it, whether they fixed it, whether they broke it for parts.
They probably fucking cut one in half and welded two together and made a good one, bro.
Like, people were saying to me, just whack it back straight on Copart. Like you could put a bumper on it and make it look like nice. But I was like, I could not live with myself, doing that. And there's like 400,000 people who watched the first video on that. They're bound to see that car and know, but that was a massive loss in that car. But you learn a lesson from it. Then it was like, now I know, like, in fact, I'm actually going to look at a car after this in Luton. And
okay, multitasking, All right, that's why he's down here, really. It makes sense now. All right.
But I know now I've got to look at the car. I know where to look at before I buy it. I don't just jump into it now. But...
Can you give us exclusives or no?
Oh, yeah.
You can?
You can. When's this one going live?
So this is probably next week. So it's Wednesday today, probably next Monday?
BMW M4 in Luton. Yeah, it's one of them which could be sketchy, might not be. I spoke to the guy on the phone. Sounds a bit sketchy, but but it's
smashed up or?
Yep, it's fully smashed up. It's M4 comp. So had front end damage, windscreen smash. All the airbags are gone. Front end damage. He said to me that it runs, but because the airbags have gone off, you can't start the car like because it will cut the ignition for safety and everything.
So how does he know it runs?
He says, "Oh, I've bypassed it. I've started it. I've got a video of it running. This is the risk, and this is what I'm going to try and knock him down on if I go there." Again, it's going to be one of them. As long as it's straight, if the engine's gone, then it doesn't matter because it's changeable, it's fixable. Like I don't mind that, and that's the beauty of doing stuff with YouTube. It's like I know I'll get my money back through the content and the things I'm making. Some stuff is like, it doesn't make sense for normal people. They're saying, "Why are you doing that to a Bentley? Why are you doing that?" It doesn't it's not cost effective.
For you, almost if you find out the engine's doesn't work after you bought it,
more content.
There's more content.
Yeah, that's it. So I just want to know: is the car straight? Can it be put back on the road? That's all I want to know. And a BMW is. I started modifying my Mrs. BMW. She had a 1 Series like years ago, and that's one of my most popular videos on YouTube. It's like just building a 1 Series. So I think a lot of people want to see another BMW, and I thought, right, M4, M3, or like a 140i would be sick. Like I've always looked at 140i and put an M2 front end on it. I thought that would be cool.
That would be sick. I think people have done that kind of thing. They look really cool.
I've seen that. Cool. I really want to do that, but again, finding a crash damaged 140i is. That's the thing. I always like.
I'm surprised there's not plenty of them. People thinking of heroes in those.
You'd think. I like buying the crash damage one because then not only I film the content rebuilding it, then I can film modifying it. You know, you probably find
it's the whole journey, innit?
That's it. You find it yourself. You buy a car, and then you run out of things to do to it. You're like, what can I do next for content? Like I want to do something, but you run out of things. Whereas if you buy it crash damage, there's always little perks and things which pop up and which are not quite right, and then you film and rebuilding it, then modifying it, this, that, and the other in it. It's like a full journey then, but this M4's popped up. And
what does an M4 go for? Like, so what is it? What is it? In fact, so what is it categorized as?
This is a category S again, so structural damage, which I sort of try and ignore. Some people say, "Oh, it's structural damage, it's gone," but my missus had an Audi TT. She got an accident with that, got categorized as a category S, and it was like a few suspension parts, and that was it. So
there's levels. There's a spectrum of category S.
That's it. It's category S. He's got it up for 16,900.
What year?
And it's a 2016 plate.
Comp, yeah?
M4 comp, 22,000 miles on it.
That's good. Money.
But I don't even, these mileage on these BMW second-hand ones, I don't even like.
You don't even take that into account. They've been clocked.
They're always clocked. Like there's no way there's a legit BMW out there with legit
Put
mileage.
A 1 in front of the mileage.
They're 100%. It's got to be clocked. So I don't even think about that. But I think it's way too expensive. For what he's got it up for, so I'm gonna go in with like a low ball offer. So like if you're watching this, then I'm gonna go in there and just gonna say like, oh, I wasn't expecting it to be that bad, blah 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 blah. Nothing this much. If I get it for like 15 and a half, I'll be happy with it.
Bro,
like,
let me tell you something funny. Yeah, so like I actually had a career, not a career, a side hustle. I've always been a guy like, you've got to have your side hustle. To do something, you've got to have your side hustle. And my side hustle for a long time, for about 2 years, was buying and selling cars. No one knows this. It's an exclusive. I used to buy and sell cars, right? And bro, you didn't want to buy a car from me. That's what I'm saying, yeah? I would never buy like a category car because I just never wanted to put that much energy and work into it. I didn't mind buying a turd and trying to polish that turd.
Yeah.
But it had to be decent. And I totally forgot where I was going with this. What? It started good. What were you saying? About knocking it down, yeah?
Yeah.
Right, cool. So when I used to go and buy the cars, right? I was just like the craziest haggler. Yeah?
I'm terrible.
Bro, no. You got to be so raw with it. Yeah?
Really?
Bro, like, so what I used to do is I used to go there, and a lot of the time it was a private sale, and I knew they wanted the money. They needed the money.
Yeah.
And if you rock up there and you've got the money and it's in your pocket, or you're going to do the deal when they know they could have the money today. So I kind of always played on that. And a lot of the time it worked, other times it didn't, right? But I would go in there, say the car was $5,000.
Yeah.
I'd look around the car, I'd come back and say, look, I'll give you $2,000, yeah? I'd hit him so low, yeah? I never expect to get it for that. I'd hit him so low that instantly they think, shit, yeah? And then they're like, no. And then when I hit an offer of, say, 3.8, yeah? It don't sound so bad. Do you know what I mean? They kind of haggle me up to it. Like, you know, maybe not that exaggerated, but I'd hit him with a horrible offer.
Yeah.
And then they'd be like, oh, fuck. And they might have thought, they might have been trying to sell the car for 3 weeks, 4 weeks.
But if you're there, they're getting excited.
Exactly.
Think,
they're like,
okay,
you know what I mean? They're probably thinking, all right, this guy sounds good on the phone. He sounds like he's going to take it. And I come and I just fucking, bro, their heart kind of drops. They probably, bro, after they sell the car to me, they probably think, what the fuck? What's
this is why I hate selling cars privately.
But bro, half of the time I was the dickhead because I was driving the car home and it was a dog. Bro, I remember, oh my God, I've got a story, bro. So it got to the point, where I was making decent money. I was doing flips, I would buy a car. I remember one time, it was so sick. I bought a car, put it on Auto Trader when I got home, The next day, someone come and bought it off me. I made like $1,500. I didn't even wash it. I made $1,500. I thought, shit. So I told my brother about it, And my brother was like, all right, cool. I'm going to start investing a little bit. So anyway, my brother started coming with me to buy and sell cars. We put a little bit of money in. We started buying more cars, if that makes sense. And we split profits or whatever. And we went to buy a car and it was a Ford B-Max.
Okay.
And I bought it from somewhere in Kent. And it was
so random cars then?
Random cars.
Not
anything
even like
for the right
price.
No, anything for the right price, And I thought, because it was quite new. It was like a 2016, 17 or whatever. And I was used to buying like cars that were like 10 years old maybe. And obviously it's quite new. It wasn't categoried or anything like that. So I went up and had a look at it. And I was like, oh my God, it's fucking fresh. And I can't remember why it was going cheap. No, I won it on eBay. So that's how I would win my cars. I would win them on eBay. So I'd be like, I'm your worst nightmare. If you've been watching a car for a week, and you're putting in bids, bro, I'll come in at the last 10 seconds and you know what I mean? I was that kind of guy. And like, I would only look daily on eBay. I wouldn't watch any cars for time because it can change too much. I'd only look maybe the last 5 hours or whatever. You know what I mean? You see it moving, whatever, come in the last 10 minutes, whack it. And sometimes I won. And I won that like this. Me and my brother went and had a look at it. Looked around it, thought, it looks fucking good, man. Couldn't believe we got it for that money, It was a little bit dirty, though, And I always like to see him nice and washed so you can see the little what's wrong with it. And then it looked clean. I think maybe a couple scuffs on the alloys, a little, you know what I mean? It wasn't perfect, but it was nice. I thought, I'll get it home, I'll polish it. Fuck, that's money right there, I got home, and it was always when you clean them and you kind of get to know the car.
Yeah, that's when you find
shit
things.
starts happening.
Yeah.
As I'm cleaning it, right? I'm seeing it looks like the whole car's been sprayed.
Oh,
like not even like one panel.
It's me with a rattle can.
Bro, well, probably you. I'm probably buying them off you. It's probably you like wearing glasses and a moustache and a fake nose each time. Like, I swear I know this guy. But fucking. So anyway, I got home and I'm cleaning. I'm like, oh my God. I went to clean the roof. The roof was all dipped in and weird. I'm like, what have I bought? Anyway, so I put it up on Auto Trader. Anyway, I'm not trying to take the L. I'm glad someone else can have this L. So anyway, I put on Auto Trader. Had a dealership call me. And I was at work at the time, and he was like, look, love the look of the car, And I was like, look, I'm a decent guy, And he's like, all right, cool, I'm going to put a deposit on it now, And I'm like, oh, shit. Like, I don't really take deposit. I'm thinking, I'd rather you see it. But I thought, you know what? Fuck it. I'm just going to play cool. I'll take a deposit. Give me £250 deposit. All right, cool. Anyway, mate, he rocks up, And you know, like, so you're waiting for him to come. He gives me a call. He says he's outside. I look out my window and he's looking around the car.
That's
no. In fact, he was looking around the car before he gave me a call. He was one of those guys, and he had come from a dealership. So I remember thinking, oh shit, he's looking at the roof. So I've come out there, and the first thing he said to me, he goes, mate, this car looks like it's been rolled. He was an older fella. He must have been about 55, 60. And he goes, this car looks like it's been rolled. He goes, no way I'm buying it. This is the conversation straight away. I've walked out. I thought, what the fuck? He goes, I want my deposit back. I'm like, what the fuck? And he goes, in fact, let me see the logbook, I'm thinking, all right, cool. Like, here's the logbook. Bro, he takes it, he goes, you ain't having this fucking logbook back until you give me my money. But I thought, oh my God, he's got me, the bastard, So I'm outside my house now, And I'm like, obviously, I ain't declaring any of this. Like, any of the money I'm making, weren't getting declared. So I thought, I kind of need to be cool with this, kind of control the situation. I'm like, look, like, can we not come to a deal? I can knock some money off or whatever. And he's like, man tried to knock me down like $2,000. He tried my tactics. Like, you know what I mean? I was like, no, it can't happen. Anyway, he wouldn't give me the logbook back. He got in his car and it was so weird. He had his mum with him. She was like 80. I don't know what was going on. It was all weird. He wouldn't give it to me back. Next thing you know, bro, man's tried to drive off with my logbook. I've jumped in front of the car. He's nearly run me over. He stopped. Bro, there was an old brake disc, like just lying up against the fence, like outside. I've picked up the brake disc. I'm like threatening to, I wasn't going to dash it through the window. I'm in front of the car, and I'm like, this has all happened in like 2 minutes. I thought, what's happening here? I'm in front of the car, the guy's gonna run me over, I'm threatening to throw this brake disc through his window. Next thing, I've moved my hand down, he swerved around me and drove off. I'm like, oh my God.
Logbook.
He's got the logbook to my fucking car. The car's fucked, I thought, what am I doing with my life? And then I'm like, I can't even really call the police. Like, what do I do? So he called me back and he's like, give me my money back. And I'm like, give me my logbook back. Yeah, how are we gonna do? He goes, I'll post it back to you. I'm like, what?
Yeah, no.
I'm like, no, we're doing it, like, we can do a swap. At these times, I'm like, fuck it, I'm giving your money back. Like,
yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
He's like, no, because when you see me, you're going to try and beat me up. I'm like, no, I'm not. Like, you know what I mean? But, oh, well, fuck, I'll give you one of them, you cunt. But anyway, yeah, fucking, in the end, we had the team, like, meet up outside a police station and swap the money.
No way.
He was so annoying.
Did you get rid of the car, though? Like, did you sell it or what?
I did. Bro, I sold it. I don't even want to talk about who I sold it to. Someone's driving that.
I'm looking for B-Maxes with a wavy roof.
Yeah, literally. Someone is driving that car around. I sold it in the end. But, bro, I remember when I gave him the money back and he gave me the logbook back, he said something slime, like a cunty's comment.
Yeah,
he didn't have to say.
No, that's it.
He said,
I remember selling, like, I started to try and go down that route, but I just couldn't face the selling it, you know, the confrontation.
Time wasters.
I bought I remember I used to have a Ford Focus, a 1.6 TDI thing, and the turbo blew in it, and then I learned that I could change the turbo, just the cartridge on the inside of the turbo, and it would run again. It was a common problem when the turbos would go, but it turns out with those cars, once the turbo's going once, you've had it, because there's just stuff that goes through the engine. Okay. You have to drain the whole engine out, like get it all cleaned out, and then even still then you got a chance of it going. But you used to see loads on eBay, dead cheap, turbo gone. So I started like buy one of them, like change the cartridge in the turbo, 100 quid, sell it for a lot more. And I remember I think it was actually the first one I did. I bought it for like $4,000 or something.
Yeah.
And changed the cartridge on the turbo, serviced it, cleaned it up like you would. And then some chap came, he came with his mechanic to look at the car, drove it round, and it was sound. The car was like 100%. Anyway, he's driving it round, like, yeah, so it's all right, this, blah, blah, blah. Must have been the next week or something, the turbo's gone again. And then he's texting me, he's messaging me and saying, look, you brought a mechanic to look at the car.
Yeah, of course. That's your mechanic's fault now.
Then he's like texting me like, this is going to happen to you, that's going to happen to you. And I'm just like, look, you bought the car, it was your own risk, you know, like, that's it. Like, the car's fixed, and what can I do? Like, and then from then on, I was like, oh, I can't do this. Like,
yeah,
you know,
bro.
like,
honestly, do you know that story I just told you?
Yeah,
so much other ones like that.
That's
what it was like. And I'm like, what? I mean, it got to the point where like the money's okay, but sometimes if you're putting you're stressed, and you might have to sit on the car for a month, and by that month's gone, a fucking new reg might have come out. Your car's, and all it takes is for someone to put their car up cheaper. Yeah, and then what you see is everyone drops the price, and then you're losing. But it was all long.